What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'll be doing an updated guide on how to get zero ping in Fortnite Chapter 3. This video is going to include all sorts of methods that you can use to get zero ping, or to at least get your ping as low as you can get it in Chapter 3. As you know, I'm all about simplicity and effectiveness, so I'll be going over all of the easiest and most effective methods. That being said, if this video helps you out, then be sure to drop a like on it and consider subscribing as well if you want to see more content just like this in the future. And finally, if you'd like to show some extra support, then consider using code Teckoh in the Fortnite item shop. It's 100% free for you and it really does help me out a ton. But with that said, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. So hopping right into the video, guys, I'm going to start by going over all of the super simple fundamental things you're going to want to know and do to optimize your ping. These are going to be the first steps that everyone's going to want to do just to make sure that they're optimized on the surface level. These will be the tips that basically make the most difference while also being some of the simplest. So my first tip for this section and for the video is going to be to get an Ethernet cable. If you've watched my videos for any length of time, you probably know by now that having an Ethernet cable is absolutely critical to having good ping. What an Ethernet cable does is essentially just hardwires your device to your router. So instead of your internet router and your device quite literally communicating through the air, they now have a wire that signals can travel through and travel super fast through, obviously. Not only does Ethernet make your connection more consistent, but it can also lower your ping dramatically. Personally, when I first got an Ethernet cable for Fortnite, my ping went from approximately 50 to around 25. That means that it basically just cut my ping in half. So if you don't already have an Ethernet cable, that's absolutely the most fundamental step and will have a huge impact on your ping. And bonus points, since as well as being probably the most simple and most effective tip to lower your ping, it also works for multiple platforms including PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. It is possible to get a wired connection on Switch, but it is a pretty complicated process that requires a special adapter, so it's a bit too much to cover in this video. But I'm sure you Switch players can search it up and see if it's something that interests you. For anyone who wants to get a wired connection in Fortnite, you can simply hop on Amazon and grab a high quality Ethernet cable for anywhere around $5 to $20 US, and it'll be some of the best money spent in terms of improving your in-game performance. On to our next fundamental tip though. This is a super simple one, and that's to simply make sure that you're on the correct Fortnite servers. I don't know why this is an issue, but some players genuinely are connected to the wrong Fortnite servers. So if you're having high ping, just take a quick second to look at your in-game server list and make sure that it's the one closest to you. You can also just set it to auto like I do if you're not sure which one is best, or you can simply select the one with the lowest MS value. So as you can see on mine, the lowest is obviously NA East, but I just set it to auto because it's just simpler that way. On to our next tip though, and that's to do a virus scan. You'd actually be really surprised by how many players have high ping in Fortnite. They scan their computer for malware and find out that they have a ton of viruses that are causing their connection to mess up. Especially if you download any suspicious files or you visit any websites that might be a bit questionable. I know some of y'all are guilty of that. Then it's a really good measure to just do a quick scan and make sure that you're in the clear. All you've got to do is download the software Malwarebytes at malwarebytes.com, go through the installation process, and run a quick scan for free. This scan is going to let you know if you have any malware on your PC, and if it says you don't have any, then you're in the clear. If you do have malware on your PC, you have two options. You can either quarantine it, which is an option in the app, or you can do a full factory reset on your PC to be 100% sure anything suspicious is gone. Plus, a full reset of your PC can help with ping as well as FPS by a huge margin, because obviously it's literally cleaning off everything. But I don't typically recommend that, as it's a very long and frustrating process. Either way though, doing a virus scan and potentially considering the idea of a factory reset might be something worth thinking about when it comes to getting lower ping in Fortnite. Alrighty guys, so now that we've gone over the fundamental things when it comes to lowering your ping, for the next part of the video I'll be giving some other general tips that should help you with lowering your ping as well, but these will be a wider variety of tips instead of just the fundamental stuff. Startup programs are basically programs that instantly start running when you turn your PC on, and they basically run non-stop in the background, taking away from your performance in both an FPS and potentially a ping context. Simply go to your task manager, head to the startup tab, and you're going to see a bunch of different apps. Each one's going to have a status, enabled or disabled, and basically you're just going to want to disable anything that you don't need right when you turn your PC on. A few examples of things you don't want on startup include game launchers, VPNs, web browsers, or anything else that you don't consistently use right when your PC turns on. Basically anything that you don't instantly need the second you get on your computer. This is a pretty simple tip and should help improve both your FPS and ping, which is obviously fantastic. On to our next tip though, and this is actually going to be to try some external apps to lower your ping. If you don't know already, plenty of apps such as No Ping, Exit Lag, WT Fast basically exist to lower your ping in Fortnite. What they do is essentially reroute your connection through their own servers, which can help you communicate faster with the Epic Games servers. Although the actual difference in ping depends on your location and various other factors, a lot of players notice a major difference with these apps, and it's absolutely worth trying them out if you're looking to lower your ping on PC. I actually happen to be sponsored by one of these companies, which is No Ping. Personally, No Ping actually helps me improve my ping by a large margin, and it's honestly such a useful app overall. I've actually gone from upwards of 25 ping to around 15 simply by turning on No Ping and selecting a server. So overall, I absolutely recommend that you check out No Ping ping if you're interested, and I'll put my affiliate link at the top of the description if you want to check it out. The next tip I want to cover though is another tip that really tends to destroy people's ping, and that's other devices and apps. Simply put, if you have other things going on with your internet, they're basically going to be sharing the internet with your device and make it a lot harder for you to get good ping. When I used to play on PS4 back in the earlier days of Fortnite, sometimes my family would be doing something like watching Netflix and my ping would literally skyrocket like crazy. Like, we're talking going from like 60 average ping to like 200. But it's not only Netflix either. Other things like YouTube, Discord, and Spotify can take up bandwidth while you're playing and can increase your ping dramatically. I know for most of you it's not reasonable to go and shut off every other device in your house that uses the internet, but if you do have relatively slow internet, I'd recommend you try to free up as much room for your device as possible to allow it to run better, as this can make a notable difference for your ping. Even if it's something as simple as shutting off Netflix on your TV or turning off a YouTube video while you're playing, unless it's a Teckoh video, then you can go ahead and keep watching. But overall, this can help your ping out quite a bit. And in the context of other apps, it might also be worth considering an internet upgrade depending on your circumstances. If your internet speed is very slow and it impacts your performance in game, you could hypothetically look into upgrading your internet package if the option is available to improve your ping. Of course, you're going to want to make sure that you've tried every other step in the video before resorting to something that might cost a lot of money, but I'd say you'll want to keep the option on the table, especially if your internet speed is very slow overall and it's not just in Fortnite. As well as that, having faster internet will give you more bandwidth, basically meaning your internet will be able to handle more devices being online at once, and thus you'll be able to have good performance with other people using it as well. So say for example your family goes on Netflix and your ping absolutely skyrockets like mine used to, then it might be a good idea. So once again, an internet upgrade is a bit of an extreme option compared to the others in this video, but you may want to consider it if you do have the money to do it and think it would be worth doing. So with all that said guys, that's going to wrap it up for the ping reduction methods in today's video. But before we end off, I want to discuss a bit about how to actually adapt to high ping if you do play on it. Unfortunately, a lot of players are kind of somewhat doomed to have high ping in Fortnite, whether the internet is simply slow where you live or you live far away from the closest server, or if you have other circumstances, sometimes it's just not possible to get your ping below a certain level. For example, I'm friends with people who live in South Africa, which is super far away from the nearest server, which I believe is Europe, and it's pretty much impossible for these players to get anything below 160 ping in any circumstance, regardless of how good their internet is. Sometimes it's literally just purely based on location, and unfortunately, based on where Epic Games servers are, some places in the world you're pretty much just screwed. If you do play on high ping, I'd recommend that you guys focus on adjusting to a slower paced playstyle. You'll want to focus more on angles and peaks rather than crazy fast editing and building. And another quick tip is to make sure that you're practicing your aim a ton. For players who have to work with high ping, the absolute key is to just make sure that your aim is insane. That way you're going to have a way to outplay the players who can build and edit like crazy. You want to take any advantage you can, and aim is one of those things you can still have on high ping. If you're stuck on high ping, guys, it may seem like a big disadvantage, and don't get me wrong, I prefer to play on low ping, but you can still be an insane player and reach a pro level without having to be on super low ping. It really just takes a different skill set, and you're going to have to focus on working around those disadvantages. But overall, guys, I really just wanted to clarify why some people might remain on high ping regardless of what they do, and also give a few tips for those of you who do run into that unfortunate situation. Even if your ping is naturally very high though, I hope the tips in this video at least help you out when it comes to getting that number a little bit lower. But with all that said, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on how to get lower ping and potentially even reach zero ping in Fortnite Chapter 3. This video included every method that I found that consistently works for almost all players and makes a large difference in ping without requiring you to do some overly technical stuff that can really mess with your device. Obviously, I don't want any of my subscribers frying their PCs, so I try to avoid the overly technical, crazy stuff that some people like to do. But with that said, hopefully, if you followed all the tips in this video, you should see a very notable improvement in ping. If this video helped you out, then be sure to drop a like on it and consider subscribing as well if you want to see more tips and tricks content just like this in the future. As well as that, if you'd like to help your boy out a bit extra, then consider using code Teckoh in the item shop, as it's 100% free and it really does help me out a ton. But with that said, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.